Okay, this is Wednesday, and it's 11 o'clock. Where the hell did the morning go? Uh, I mentioned yesterday about Harley Davidson. It's almost as if they are trying to prevent you from finding a way to pay them. I bet you I spent a couple of hours of absolute stress. I already told you the story about I tried to deal with this. Okay, starting at the beginning. My bank changed their website, came out with a new app, and when you download the new app and go to the new website and sign in, none of your payees are there. So my two payments, my Harley and my truck, are due on 24th. So the 23rd is when they allowed you. They let you know ahead of time. I didn't expect them to wipe out everybody's payees. Boy, I tell you, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people calling that bank. And I don't like this bank anyway. I've already been hacked 3 times, and they've covered it. One time they tried not covering it, like it was some little skimpy cocktail dress and some little tiny shoes that somebody used my debit card in New York City. And we're in Texas, and the bank here, that's all they are, is in Texas. And I said, are you seriously mean to tell me that you're gonna make me, a 300-pound man, pay for a tiny little cocktail dress and little tiny shoes? Anyway, I left a long, lengthy hate mail to them when they asked me for my, you know how they send you that little email. How was the service? And so anyway, they called me about a week after sending them that email. They called me and they said, what seems to be the problem? And I gave them another earful. I said, you are the worst bank I have ever done business with in my life. And I've had business accounts. I've had multiple accounts with many other banks over the years, and I've never had the trouble that I have with your bank. And if there was any other option for me, I would do it. And she wished she hadn't called me by the time she hung up. I said, I won't get too involved. I only have one payment going to that bank for a reason. Taxes. Makes it easier to figure my taxes if I keep incomes separated. So if there was any other option, I would choose it. I hate this bank. And I'd tell you something else. The local gas station here will not take my debit card. It will take credit cards, which I don't like using credit cards because then you got to keep up with paying your balance off. I like using my debit card. That way I can, with a few buttons, I can see how broke I am. So that's another thing I don't like this bank over. The debit cards never work. Well, anyway, I tried three times to start a new account with Harley. The last time I actually had an account with Harley was back in the early 2000s. And at an address I haven't used in frickin', that long at least. So they wouldn't let me start a new account. Now, they didn't ask me for my zip code, and the bill they send me every month for my Harley payment comes to this address here in Texas. But in their system, they had an old address from a long time ago, and it wouldn't let me, at the address they send their bill to, their payment information to, sign in because they had an old address. And you would not believe the hoops I had to jump through to get a human that I could understand. And I told you that story. I called and I got some reggae-speaking woman in a foreign country with a muffled microphone. And I was so unable to make out a single word she was saying that I hung up, called back, and I got another woman with the same reggae accent speaking in a muffled microphone. It wasn't the same woman. This woman got instantly angry when I told her I couldn't understand a single word she was saying. And I could probably make out what she was saying if the microphone wasn't so terribly muffled. I said, could you pull the microphone away from your mouth a little bit? And she did, and instantly I was able to hear her better. Of course, I could hear the thousands of other people in the sweatshop she was working in, but at least I could pick her voice up. So anyway, after 3 times of trying to get online with Harley, and 3 times of trying to get a password, and they send you this temporary password, supposed to send you a temporary password so you can go in, change your password, and send them some money. So, and each time it said, if you don't receive it in 10 minutes, try it again. So I did it 3 times. 24 hours later, today, I actually got the password changed. So today I was able to go in there, and I just can't believe how difficult. It's like this country, as far as customer service is concerned, has become a third world country. The bank, my bank, thought nothing of the extreme. It was 6 days that we had no access to our checking account. 6 days. How many people are in the same boat as me, have to count your pennies, can go 6 whole days without determining whether you can afford to buy gas or a loaf of bread? And our bank thought nothing of it. Nothing of it. And then when they finally let you back in, they have wiped out all your payees and all the account numbers and all the dates that you put in there to have money taken out. Just unbelievable. And then on top of that, you couple that with Harley Davidson making it nearly impossible for you to pay your monthly payment. It is mind-boggling that our country has become this level of incompetence. From the government to major financial institutions, it's mind-blowing. Okay, I'm sorry. That was a 7-minute rant, but I truly am just shocked at the level of customer service we have to endure now, or lack of customer service. Calling it customer service is, it's not what it is. Alrighty, I'm here. I'm in my shop. I'm going to take a deep breath, drink me a Frugal Prepper. Frugal Prepper did a video yesterday or the day before talking about everybody complaining about Roundup. And somebody said something in his video that he was spraying some weeds with Roundup. And he said, these are the same people that think nothing of picking up a Diet Mountain Dew, or a Mountain Dew, not Diet, but a Mountain Dew with high fructose corn syrup in it, which is what they spray corn with, is Roundup Ready, seeds. And, they're drinking a soda with high fructose corn. High fructose corn syrup comes from, corn. And they spray corn with Roundup. Or the seeds are what they call a Roundup Ready. So you're getting this Roundup in pretty much everything that's corn related, whether you like it or not. And I don't drink Diet because, I'm worried about Roundup. I drink Diet because I'm fat. And I think it's just one less calorie. So anyway, I'm going to drink my Mountain Dew and take a deep breath. And I'm not going to let this new jig scare me away. I'm going to put this knife that I planned on grinding on my old jig, I'm putting it on the new jig, and I'm going to be as careful as I can be. And here's the thing. The original bevel that I ground on that knife, the first bevel yesterday, was perfect. The best bevel I ever ground. Turn it around, put it in the next bevel was the worst bevel I ever ground. So I'm going to be much more careful, and I'm going to start on my weak side. Every knife maker has a weak side. And I think sometimes when something is really tricky, to start on your weak side, flip it over, and on your good side, you can match the bevel that your weak side ground. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Alrighty, let's get to work. Here's this. It's really funny that I had a friend text me, and I'm not gonna say who. I'm not gonna say what part of the country, but I'm going to describe the situation that he encountered when he was dropping his kids off of school, and I'll be delicate. I don't even know what age his kids are. I can only guess the general age, and I'm not even going to do that. But where he drops his kids off to school, which is near the school, of course, in that area, there was two school age. Now, it could be high school. I don't know. I would imagine or hope at least high school, engaging in copulation. And right there in public view, I'm telling you, somebody said, if this is not the end of days, then God owes Sodom and Gomorrah an apology. And man, I'm just blown away. I got that text message just probably seconds after I ended that last clip, and I sat here and I drank my Mountain Dew just thinking about the world and how it makes me a little sick inside. Really sick to my stomach. And that text came through and I thought about it for a second. It's just mind-blowing. And just mind-blowing. Yeah, I don't have any other words to describe it. Shock, horror, and good Lord, Maranatha. Well, I did it. Come out perfect. Come out perfect. All right. We're past the hardest part is making a good bevel. That really is the hardest part. Actually, not the hardest part. Now, sanding, you want to talk about labor. Labor is the hardest part, but the part that can go to hell in a handbasket immediately, within seconds, is grinding the bevel. Now let's have a close-up look. Let me put you down here and we'll get a close look at the plunge line. Oh yeah. Yeah. Come on. Have you ever seen a better plunge line? I'm not bragging. I'm just happy. It used to be like, well, on the other bevel grinding jig, I got to the point where 9 out of 10 of my bevels, my knives would have great bevels, good plunge lines. And I only screwed up 1 out of 10. And so it's nice to be able to get over the hump. I'm telling you, this on that metal table is like being on ice. And here's what I realized. This is the angle that is most critical. You put it up against, let's just say that this is the sanding belt, right? You put it up against the belt, and the first thing you notice is this. So you got to control this. It wasn't so critical with my other one because it was much harder. There was a whole lot more pressure to move it port and starboard and fore and aft. So see, I used a bunch of nautical terms right there. Alrighty, so I'm happy. We're done. Now we get to the vise and we start sanding. Okay, yeah, I'm showing off again. I took this off the belt at 120, and this is 120, but it's the last of some of the worst sandpaper I've bought, which is it's Deerfoss, DEERFOSS, absolute crap sandpaper. And this is the last of it here, and I'm going to use this up, sand and handle area smooth, and the ricasso area. This is the area between the plunge line and the end of the handle. right here is called the ricasso. And so from the ricasso back, I'm going to use the rest of this crap sandpaper. I just heard thunder. Yep, okay, there, it's raining again. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining. Anyway, so here's where I'm at. I got all the handle sanded up to just a little past the ricasso. Now I'm fixing to turn it around. And oh, come on. Don't make me use two hands and a belly. There we go. So now I'm going to finish the flat, grind the bevels, and in the meantime, I fixed it. It's still not going to be, you know, one of my top knives, but and it's not a perfect plunge line. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Here. But it is far, far better than it was. And all I did was come back a little bit into the ricasso, just a little bit more. And in the meantime, when I get this, you know, hand sanded, and I'm not going to do this anytime soon, actually, probably, I don't have any knife orders after this. I'll probably work on this some, but it's going to be one of the using knives, not particularly, you know, one of my best looking knives, but it'll be 100% usable. So that's nice. I'm glad I got that done, and it appears that I do have a far better understanding of the type of finesse I got to use with that new jig. Plus, let me show you this. Didn't take long for this to happen. I'm gonna have to, this table is gonna require a lot more work. So, it's still a little wet. Cause you know, I have to grind and dunk and grind and dunk and grind and dunk, and then everything gets wet. And so I'm gonna have to keep this away. I'm gonna have to really do a, you know, probably every day that I use it, I'm gonna have to go back over it at the end of the day, clean it all up, which I don't mind, and hit it with a coat of wax. So there's that. All right, I'm getting back to work. So I told myself I was going to stay out here in the shop until I use the last piece of that crap sandpaper, and I almost made it. So here, I mean, I used all the sandpaper, but I almost got to the, so I have sanded the grind lines out on one side, and almost the other side. So I'm going home. God, my hands are killing me. And tomorrow, I thought I was going to be going to another town to fix a lawnmower tomorrow, but tomorrow is a burn day here, and my wife wants to pick up all the, she wants to burn all that brush out there. We got a pile, and plus all that on the trailer, plus we got a tree down the hill there, and another limb down right back here. So we're going to be busy burning and cleaning up tomorrow. I mean, I will at least get the rest of the grind lines out of this. That is a big step there. Spine looks good. Bottom of the ricasso looks good. Yep, come out real good. So I'm happy. All right, let's go home and feed the dogs, and maybe my wife was gonna cook some chicken. I wonder if she got it cooked yet. Let's go find out.